TFE TV, welcome back to the channel. Day 3, training my client, American Bully Ash. As you can see, the sun is out. It's been raining pretty horrendously. It actually ruins my life because I have 5 acres here of just straight up dirt. And so it gets really muddy. It's horrifying. I have a hard time getting up my hill. I live up on a mountain. So that sucks. In other news, I've also changed my clothes and I've taken a shower since yesterday. So yeah, I know I'm a disgusting, dirty little grub. What are you, the cops? In any case, today's day 3. This is his day 3. This is our day 3. We've had a chance to acclimate. We've been chilling. You know, he knows me now. He's not tripping as much. He's sort of acclimating, which is perfect. And if you haven't watched the previous 2 episodes, go back and watch those. Also, if you want to help the channel and you appreciate this series and the content, leave a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for future notifications so you don't miss the rest of this series. Gonna try to do one every day. We're gonna see how that works out. Today it's a little difficult, but the fact that the sun came out, we're super grateful for that. As you can see, I got my van door open. I've got the little step stool there, and we're gonna kind of see, you know, how willing he is to get in the van because we got to go for a little trip. We got to go get him a prong collar. So a lot to talk about in this particular video. Yeah, a lot to talk about. We're gonna go through it. We're gonna be here, me and you. Hope you're enjoying it. Boom, boom, bang, bang. All right, guys, we're back here in one of my little backyard sections. That's my man. Just letting him get some wiggles out before we get on the road, you know. Sometimes I like to let him get a few wiggles out before we go into a space where, you know, fuck, dude, it's going to be tough for him. It's going to be hard for him. So maybe get a little bit of energy out before we go into the world. Yeah, shit like that, dude. So that's what we're doing. Just fed all the other dogs. I do boarding here as well, so I'm in a constant state of like rotation and a lot of Groundhog Day around here, which, guys, show me some grace. You know, it's one of the reasons why I end up like not showering for a couple days because look, we're not like a normal 9-to-5 job. I'm wake up, work all day, and then when I clock out, it's like right before I go to bed, right? Because I got to give all the dogs one last break. And like, depending on how busy I am, depends on like how actually ridiculous it gets because I'll be up at like 10 p.m. doing like my final potty break and shit like that. So anyway, is he doing the poo-poo dance? Ah, it's a beautiful thing. That way I don't have to worry about him dropping a steamy load in my van on the way to Cahoots to get our prong collar. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned. Good. Okay. Yeah, there's really no telling exactly how this is going to go. A lot of the time, dogs that exhibit some like a lack of confidence, they'll have a hard time voluntarily jumping up on a higher platform, which is why I have this here. Because this is a little bit lower than my van. This could be, you know, this height could be a little bit intimidating for a dog. And I like to start off with a little shorter platform for him. And of course, we're going to use some food to try to lure him in and kind of just show him that he could get in this van all by himself. Like he clearly has the ability to just jump right in. But just to sort of expedite and kind of like stepping stone his way to that point, we'll use the shorter platform. Typically, I'll kind of just introduce this to him first. But we're kind of expediting it a little bit. And we're going to put this right in front of the platform, get him up in here, and make our way to Cahoots. So see how it goes. Hopefully the food, hopefully the work that we've done, hand feeding and that sort of thing, could kind of help this process along a little bit. Good boy. Come here. That's a good man. Good. Good. So that was like really awesome. Oh, nice. Just that curiosity there was great. So I was going to pay him for that there. Here, Papa. Good. One of the little tricks is I'll get up there myself. That's a man. That's a man. Good boy. I'm going to chuck a few pieces of food here. Good. All right. So he's a little too stressed out about the food. So we won't even offer that to him. Come on down. Good boy. See if we can get him up there again. Come on, climb. Steer him with the leash a little bit. Good. Come on, Papa. Come on. Yes. Good. That's a big guy. Good reward right there. Good man. Now I'm going to clip him into this leash back here because I don't want him bouncing around all over the place, stressing out. Normally I'd put him in a kennel, but we're not going far. So I'm just going to, I'll show you actually. Come on, Papa. Come on. Okay, good. I'm glad he's doing this. Shows the skepticism. Honor it. Honor that. That's okay. Let's try again. Come on, Papa. Come on. Good boy. Come on. Yes. Yes. Good boy. That's perfect. So if you could still hear me, which I think you might be able to, it's kind of about trying to get him to perform this with the least amount of conflict possible. I'm really trying to get him to do it on his own and not add conflict to an already conflicted dog. He's already nervous. He's already sketchy. The last thing I want to do is like put conflict on his leash and add pressure, which it's a conversation to be had because sometimes that actually helps. But in this particular context, we're not trying to put too much on him, okay? We're easing into this thing, man. Easing into this thing. Once we like build a little expectation for him and stuff like that, and we set some rules and shit like that, we can start, incorporating a little bit more pressure. But right now, that's my preferred method. Some people will say, hey, go straight to some negative reinforcement, put pressure on him until he does it. And believe me, I believe in that, but I just have a preference at this juncture to do it, to get him to do it on his own. So if he's showing defiance, my preferred strategy is honor it. Okay, all right, brother. Okay, brother. Regroup, come back, try it again. And you saw what he did. He kind of did it on his own. So I didn't necessarily even need the negative reinforcement of putting tension and waiting until he does it on his own. That's a pressure release drill. I use that, just not here. Okay, let's get cruising. Why am I making this series? I just want to talk a little bit about that. I think this is going to do a pretty good job of like showing people who are interested in, boarding their dog with me, or just like what my board and train process looks like. I think the clients particularly appreciate this. Now, normally I'll take these videos in shorter clips and like send them to clients so they kind of know what's going on. I keep them fully involved. People want to know what the hell's going on, man. You have their best friend. And I've always honored that, but this is just kind of like a more in-depth look at how everything goes. And so that's really the main point of emphasis is for my clients, because again, I do make these videos for them, but also, hey man, this is what you can expect. And like maybe you guys are watching this right now and you've been considering a board and train and you're kind of looking for like, what might suit you. You know what I mean? I mean, people are really skeptical about this sort of thing, and it's fully understandable, man. I mean, just how unsettling would it feel to be like, yeah, I'm leaving my dog with a trainer. Some people are a little bit less like, they're like just, and some people just heard of me yesterday and they bring me a dog. They're like, here, and they don't ever even ask for updates. Other people like will have seeked somebody out for 2 years and they've been watching my Instagram and they're like, yeah, I've been watching you for a long time because I wanted to be sure. That's how it should be. I mean, I'm not saying, the average Joe Schmo who doesn't know who I am can't trust me, but I am saying if it were me, I 100% would be sussing out and like trying to get a feel for somebody, understand their process and like read between the lines and try to get an energy and a vibe and like try to understand like what can I expect from my dog trainer who has my best friend for like a 3-week duration. And this is just documentation of that for you guys. Anyway, let's get going. Let's go get this collar. Stay tuned. I was just telling her is because normally I'll wait a little bit longer before I take a dog into public, but it's because there's an explanation for this. It's because normally I'll set my rules and foundation here, teach them to walk, impulse control, like get like sort of like a rule set before we go into public. But in this particular instance, I'm not going to be asking much of him. I'm just taking him into public, and you're going to see, I'm going to be let him use his nose, let him be curious. I'm not going to be like correcting him. I'm not going to be doing none of that. It's just for the experience, and it's just what I had in my mind for today's video. So that's a little explanation as to why. Does that make sense, babe?
Great, thank you.
Okay. I got to teach her now. She taught me when we first got into this thing, and now I teach her.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? When the student becomes
Okay,
the teacher?
bye.
I love you. Okay, guys, we've made it to our destination. He's done such a good job, so patient, maybe a little bit of stress, okay? But first things first, I'm going to get him out of here. I'm going to get him out of here of the vehicle and let him kind of get out. I'm going to go inside and we're going to get this prong collar and some food. And I have a little something to say about the food, the current food that you feed him. And yes, I am speaking directly to my clients versus the food that I'm going to recommend for multiple reasons. And we'll get into that really quick. But first, let me get this guy out. He's been doing a good job being patient, being in this van. And so let's get his wiggles out. My man. My man. Let me turn this vehicle off real quick. Beautiful. My man. Hold on. Got to pop in a little Zenny. Okay. Because I'm actually physically addicted to nicotine. So pop a little Zenny, little upper decky lip pillow for my bush. Absolutely marvelous. I do 3 milligrams. A lot of my boys give me a lot of shit about being a 3 milli guy. But the 6 millis, they just hit. Like they hit super hard. And I'm like, dude, I got shit to do. Do you know what I mean? Good boy. Can I get you to come over here? So we got them tied in and we're going to make sure our long line is all dialed, which you guys are going to be going home with a long line because you got to have a long line. If you don't, I don't know what the hell you're doing or thinking. Good boy. Hang on. Let me switch this up. Let me get this one off you. Okay. Experience, my son. Experience, my son. This way. Let me turn this camera around. Good boy. Right over here in the back corner. So I'm actually devastated that my mic died right here. So I'm going to try my best to remember all the banter and everything that I was saying throughout the course of this. This is us getting finished up with our shopping inside. And right now I'm just sort of bringing in the food that we're going to be talking about. This is Farmina NND lamb and pumpkin. And we choose lamb and pumpkin because we just prefer that protein, generally speaking. Now, all dogs are different, but people oftentimes bring me the chicken protein, and chicken is objectively the least most beneficial protein for dogs. So we typically do not recommend chicken. Inflammation, hair loss, dry skin, all these are extremely, extremely common side effects of feeding too much chicken. So it doesn't come recommended. And I'm not just saying this because I Googled some shit. You can Google it and get your info, but I actually hired a professional pet nutritionist. So we don't feed chicken. Plus, the food that my lovely clients brought me, very small pieces, okay? It's not the worst food in the world, but typically, I've done this a million times. I've turned people over to this brand quite a bit because it's not only better from a nutritional standpoint, 99.9% of the time, because you got to understand that there are levels to kibble, but also because it comes in bigger pieces, and we hand feed our meals, so we're looking for a bigger piece of kibble so that these little pieces of kibble don't fall out of your hand when you're trying to feed them a handful. Okay, it makes training a lot more difficult. It's a nightmare. Apart from that, I'm also going over this prong collar. Now, tomorrow, the video, episode 4, is going to be going over in a little bit more depth, a little more detail about the prong collar, when to use it, how to use it, why to use it, and everything else that you're going to need to know about this specific dog training tool. Okay, so that's what we're going over here. I'm kind of talking about like, how to take it off and like, how to put it on, how to make sure it doesn't fail, and all these things that I'm going to be going over tomorrow's video. So that's pretty much it. I'm devastated, absolutely devastated that the camera or the microphone freaking took a crap on me. But Yeah, I'm just appreciating this guy so much. He's such a freaking awesome dog. He's the sweetest guy in the world, and it is truly an honor to be. It's just an honor to have the opportunity to help him grow and to teach his people, and I'm so grateful for that. So we're going to cut this video off here. It got a little bit long anyway, but stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel if you want to catch episode number 4 on day 4 tomorrow, going over how to teach a dog to walk, to conditioning the prong collar, and yeah, everything else from there. Day 4, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Toodle Pip. We will see you tomorrow for episode 4.